lakini kuhubiri church sinaenda church na nasikiza preaching na naenda kwangu home. Hiyo si tumemaliza hiyo story. Sasa tunaulizana nini hapa tena? So in terms of preaching, I have nothing against women. In terms of leadership, man should lead and man must take responsibility, because even without God, that is nature.
You're right. Thank you, sir. Mmaliza time vifiti.
Yes.
Kuna mingi tulikuwa tunataka kuongelelea, but just I think the last 10 minutes tunaweza guza a bit on politics, because tuliguza hapo before tuanze. Now let's speak about the Morara conundrum.
All right.
Well, because as in, I've talked about propaganda on my content, and I understand the signature of propaganda in the sense whereby out of all those activists who are there on X, 1 or 2 or even 3 of them might be the mole. Ndio tuko hapa pamoja, but mimi niko hapa kuleta confusion.
Yeah.
Hatuna leaders, hatutaki leaders. Morara atasema acha tuanze political party, mwingine anaambia hapana. Hido imepeleka wapi? Like you understand? And I've been a big fan of the Mau Mau movement. Every time you penda ku reference watu, because those people walipatia the blueprint of resistance, and it was easy. Start by killing the home guards and loyalists, because we have a lot of home guards and loyalists.
They are the ones who are selling us
horticulture bill and stuff. This is a home guard who's doing this deal. Yeah, amepatiwa pesa yake, anaambia niaze umiza Patrick, who's your brother. So he's like, okay, no problem. So wao walianza na hii. And then there's Morara, maybe, who's doing something, because personally I'm even skeptical right now, not gonna lie.
Okay.
I'm skeptical of Morara. I'm skeptical of Francis Gaido. All those activists wenye wanasema wako na sisi right now, I'm skeptical of all of them, because the best thing they could have done, sinyi wote mkona, like they have a following, they have a certain influence. Hizi vitu zote, why don't we handle them in-house?
Okay.
You want to be a leader, you want to be leaderless, why don't we talk about it as activists? And then sasa ndo tukuje, because on the other end, distraction really saves akina Ruto time. These mabills zinaendelea tu kufanywa behind our scenes as these people constantly fight on X. You see? Yes, Morara anaenda. There's this other Miguna nilisikia akisema hataki Morara aseme tuongoje 2027, hataka impeachment now. Now everyone with their own opinions, ikikam Francis Gaido anataka this, everyone this. Do you think like he movement itasonga if everyone has their own, what's it called, targets or their own agendas they want to push?
Okay. Let's first of all make a disclaimer. I'm in the team of Morara as part of the party and whatever he's doing. So I'm part of his inner circle. Some people are calling us the advisors or anything you want to call us. So that out of the way. So let me handle the issue of Morara first. Whether is what I told Morara is this, and we were discussing even before all these things came. I was, and I've made several videos where I believed that if you don't lead people, if you don't provide leadership, there's nowhere a movement can go. Anything that you want to achieve in a society, you must have leadership. So it is from that point where I support Morara when he wants to set up a structure, how the movement should continue. I was agitating, I was calling, I have made several videos where I said, who is willing to lead us? Nobody was coming out. They continued with the leaderless and tribeless. But I can tell you today here, Asir, and you'll see it in 2027, Kenya will vote on tribal basis.
As always.
As always. And if a Kikuyu will stand, he will be number 1 on the ballot. Then Ruto or Kalonzo will be number 2. Why? Because Kikuyu has the highest number of registered voters
In Kenya.
and the will and the heart and the desire to vote. Luos never vote, all of them. That's why Raila lost, because they denied him. They denied him. Out of 2.1, it's only 1.4 who voted. Where were the 700,000? If they voted, Ruto will not be our president today. But they never did. And you know, if they, it would have been impossible for Ruto to steal if all the Luos voted. So Kikuyus, if a Kikuyu candidate will vie, he will be number 1 because they have the numbers. Most of the Gen Zs, they don't value election a lot. They were election mode in June. Now they have gone back to a hiatus that we don't know how long it's going to take. It may take 3 years or 4 years. I hope that there is something that will trigger them in 2027 to vote. Because as it is, unless the bill of 2025, 2026 is as bad as the bill of 2024, 2025, then we will come out again, and that time we will remove Ruto for good. Because we won't leave the streets. If something like that can come, which I doubt it may come, we only have an alternative for 2027. Therefore, the people who are asking that Ruto must go now, it is just pushing a narrative, but achieving very less.
And you're wasting time.
Yes, because the question you will ask is this. Miguna, where is he?
He's not in the country, is he?
How does he push the movement?
Through social media?
Exactly. But he's not on the ground.
Not on the ground.
I have been to the ground. I was tear gassed. I was shot at. But I was not clobbered. But I know people who were clobbered. I know people who got gunshot wounds. And most terribly, people who were killed. I could have gone to Parliament because that's where I was going when I was going to town. And I had my 2 daughters, and I had a nephew, and I had 7 friends. We were all going for demonstrations, and I'm the one who challenged my friends. We go for demonstrations because this bill passes, we are going to be in a very bad place. So the movement needs direction, but please remember, if there is something difficult to do, it's to bring a group of people together. All these leading lights, I call them leading lights, all these influencers on social media, because they are not known beyond the social media. It's the social media that has made them. Why? They have about 500 followers, 500,000, they have 400,000, they have 200,000, they have 100,000 followers, and when they tweet anything, it goes to tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, and we keep on pushing. But how many Kenyans are on X?
Not many.
I hear it's about 2 million or thereabout. Not a lot. Then, is it 2 million or no, I'm wrong. I might be wrong on the number. On TikTok, X relies mostly on the information we are supplying from TikTok. So we have very solid content creators in TikTok. And TikTok creators have a face. X do not have a face.
They don't.
Why? Because X is a faceless battalion. And therefore, they do not even want to expose themselves as much as TikTok we're exposing ourselves. Now, it is only in TikTok where we agree we need a leader. Most of the TikTok people, they agree we need a leader. We need a political party. But on X, we have never agreed. So what has happened as a result? We've lost Cairo. We don't know whether he was paid. I think he was threatened,
Mm-hmm.
and I think he was warned,
Mm-hmm.
and that's why he withdrew his support for the movement.
Mm-hmm.
Because he left completely. Okay. Then we have, where is Kimuzi? He's outside the country.
Mm-hmm.
He's not in Kenya. Where is Amenya? He's not in Kenya. He's outside the country. Where is Miguna? He's not
Outside.
in Kenya. He's outside the country. And many others. So I always listen to Kipembe. He's very vocal. Wachana gaido kwanza. I listen to Kipembe. Does Kipembe have an opinion? You look at his X space.
Mm-hmm.
No, he doesn't. Most of the ex luminaries, they don't have an opinion. Anyone with an opinion like a Samuel is the one who said, let's bring together everyone. And they brought together 100+ organizations,
Mm-hmm.
civic, civil rights or civic organizations together. It's now called NCCPA.
Mm-hmm.
And they've been doing a lot of work. But now, look at what came out of Kasamweli. They met with Osoro, coincidentally. Osoro had an ex yesterday,
Okay.
and he said he's looking to place Kasamweli somewhere. You know, I woke in the morning, I've not checked TikTok and I've not checked X a lot
Mm-hmm.
because I've not had time. I'll go and check it later. But they met. It was not a coincidence, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
It was. Look at all the other guys who are disagreeing with what Morara is doing. Bottom line, what I'm trying to say is this.
Mm-hmm.
You can never bring people together. Politicians and people never agree 100%. But someone has to do the hard job. And the person who is willing to do the hard lifting is Morara. He's taking the bull by the horns.
Mm-hmm.
Morara is doing several things that none of the X is doing. And please bear with me. Who among X is going to the ground to check what the government is
No
doing?
one.
No one.
Mhm.
It's Morara who is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
How is he doing it? How can he continue doing it without a proper coordination, proper structure, proper system? It is impossible to sustain it. 2, look at the direction he's taking us. Who else in X is telling people, look here, we need a vehicle? Because when President came to X, he said, give me 100 people. What did they tell him? No. Go and do what you have told you to do. I agreed with them, but I knew we will lose because we never gave him people to work with. You said you are leaderless, so you don't want to produce anyone. Who did the president find? Someone who was a leader and someone who had leaders. Who was that? Raila.
Okay.
It is Raila.
Mm-hmm.
So how did the president resolve the problem of the Gen Z? By finding a leader who had leaders. And that was in the person of Raila. Did he consider anything, any proposal the Gen Z gave him? No.
Mm-mm.
He returned all the cabinet secretaries and he never employed any Gen Z. He employed Oparanya of all the people. He employed Joe of all the people. Why? Because you were arrogant. You and Dante here.
Mm.
You refuse to give and grace. You refuse to give a candidate to say, this is our representative.
Mm-hmm.
You're so arrogant and so unreasonable, and you thought you could. You know, the card you had was demonstrations, and that had already been defeated. Ni kama ukue na balloon, and then udunga sindano. So aliwadunga sindano ya kwanza, tap, bill, IPT. So ile fujo mlikuwa nayo yote kapoa. We have won, mkaanza celebrations. Kufumbua, mkasema cabinet. Tang, akafuta cabinet. Baz, mkaenda default setting. Yes, we have won. Africa knows us. Hey. You are celebrating. As you are celebrating, Raila is strategizing.
Mm-hmm.
How do I take advantage of it? Because politicians are always taking advantage of every situation. That's why yesterday we pushed an hashtag, impeach both.
Mm-hmm.
It came from the office here in Kawasukari.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, impeach both. Because you must push a narrative. Gachagua anataka kuwa impeached. So, no. Impeach both.
Mm-hmm.
This is the time to remove both Gachagua and...
Atutetei Gachagua pia.
Atutetei Gachagua.
Because I saw that was the distraction.
Exactly. So we are countering it.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever you remain without leaders, like for example, that hashtag came from a meeting we had of the advisors, and we told Morara, push this. I think this is the right thing to do. We agreed on how we are going to handle the Gachagua impeachment issue, and that's the way we are going to go as Inject. So they must remove both of them, not one. The poster that you saw going rounds, ile jamaa ameshika kitambaa hivi ya red, it was made by my graphic designer. Yeah, we posted it immediately. So you cannot be leaderless. When we fought Hanifa and Boniface Mwangi, what happened to the movement? We refused to give the rightful leadership. And I believe if we could have done it then, we would not be where we are. Tell Hanifa, continue what you are doing. You're a leader. She was able to raise 35 million. Come on. You don't call her a leader? 35 million to assist people?
She is.
Boniface Mwangi, he's been a leader all through. And others. This human rights guy, is it Hussein? Look at what he has done. So will you say we don't have a leader? No, it's a lie. Look at how Masitarus represented us in the media houses. How Kasamueli represented us in the media houses. How Eric Omondi has been consistent. You say you don't have a leader. You know, it is only in the head of the Gen Z that there is no leader. But you already know who is the leader. Why are they complaining when Amerix is not supporting a cause? Why are they agitated when Amerix is bringing a different angle of looking at things? Why are we fighting for certain people to support us? Because we believe they have a voice. They are leaders in their own right. But the Gen Z have this idea in their head, we are leaderless. Yet we know we are not leaderless. So Morara is doing the hardest thing, is going to the ground and is forming a party. There's an headquarters. At least now, for now, the movement has a home. Now, let me go to the accusation that they are putting across, the accountability. Why would you be accountable? And I already gave you a disclaimer. Why would I be accountable to you and I gave you a disclaimer?
What was the disclaimer, though?
When he started raising money, but you see, people have short memory. He posted 3 or 4 times. Please note, any money you're sending me at your own risk. I will use it the way I deem fit, and I will not give you an accountability. I'm going to use it, though, to go to the project, to the lounge, and it will assist me to eat, to drink, to fuel, and to find a place to sleep when I'm doing the lounging, and I will not give you accountability. But when I have a formal vehicle, I will now be accountable, but for now I won't. It's in his tweet. You can go and check. So I will never allow anyone to tell him to account for the money he has received so far. Because you gave him on his personal capacity and for him to use as he deemed, and without giving you accountability, he gave a disclaimer. But you see, people want to bring issues where there are no issues. And that's why we are not willing to handle that. But moving forward, we will have an office running. We have an office running. We will have officers in that office, officers of the movement. And those now will be now accountable to Kenyans. And we will finally change the number from Morara to now an organization that will be receiving the money and will be able, you come to the office, you can peruse the books. And you know you do that after a financial year. You can't do it randomly when you want.
Yeah, you're right.
So there are systems for that to be done. So that is it. But Morara is doing the right thing, and that's why I'm supporting him 100%.
I also think he's doing the right thing. and I hope I'm right, to be honest. I'm skeptical,
Yes.
but I'm right because of all the distractions. Si ati nini.
Lakini ignore hizo
No.
Nasiri ignore hizo
Yeah,
discussion.
I'm actually ignoring them. It's just that, again, I like being thorough.
because-
However,
yes.
out of all of them,
Yes.
the one who appears that you are serious
Yes.
is Morara, because he has actually done it before this whole thing. The Vampire Diaries, I was like, and the only thing that will let is skepticism zote ni the voices, of which I'm putting myself in the shoes of a normal observer, because a normal observer kama amefuatilia Morara all that long, asikie Gaidho akisema hii Miguna, unaget atanza hii suspicions ndogo. However, let me just say, I think you guys are on the right platform. I'm on the right path. And to be honest, if it's surely what you say it is, then I'm also willing to support you guys. And I hope other people also come on board, including the 100 leaders you're talking about. Mr. Patrick, the villager, thank you for coming, man.
Thank you, man, for
Shukran.
bringing me here. I have enjoyed. Yes, and also you've opened my mind in so many things.
There has to be a part 2, Lasma, in those 3 years.
Yes, yes, of course. Yes, of course.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Aye.